Actually, it's the lead play in our offense.
Tell the tackle, take the defensive end if he's over him. If he's not, you drive down the first man who is inside. Pull back and tell him to take the first man outside the offensive tackle. No one shows. Go right by them and field inside. If the YN has the linebacker taken out, he cuts inside. If the YN has the linebacker in, he comes all the way around. So look at this play. What we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access post-game show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. You can find me on Twitter at Packers_access. I'm joined alongside Emilio in Tennessee. We got Tim live in Green Bay. Packers come away with a big victory. Absolutely hilarious. We've been sitting there for 15 minutes waiting to go live. And the second I hit go live, I go on a sneezing fit over here. That's just the way it goes, though. But, guys, big win today against the LA Chargers. A lot to be excited about, man. This was definitely the Jordan Love coming out party. This is the performance we've been looking for. You know, I tweeted out late in the fourth quarter, defense holds again, right? Defense holds again. Come on, Jordan, make a believer of us. And he did. He went right down the field. It's crazy because it kind of reminds you of Favre, how he missed Musgrave on that throw that would have been a huge gain down the sideline, came right back, still got the job done. Absolutely awesome. But, Tim, what'd you think, buddy? Overall impressions coming out of the gate. We'll hit a couple super chats, and we'll try to go to QB1 at the podium.
More good than bad out of this team across the board, especially with QB1. If we're going to lead with Jordan Love, absolutely. Finally, here, right on Josh Martin, super chat, right on time. Finally over 300 yards or at around 300 yards. That's what we talked about, right? And we saw a few of that overly comfortable action in the pocket today a little bit still. And, you know, it wasn't perfect, but man, he threw some pretty balls today. Had a couple overthrows and underthrows, but so does every quarterback in this league. Nobody's perfect all the time. And Jordan certainly hit some in-rhythm throws that were big plays for us when we needed it, especially over the middle on some of those play-action darts, getting guys open in space. So, yeah, I'm really impressed with Jordan today. Great game.
Definitely. Josh Martin with another super chat said, Love is looking more poised and confident. Absolutely. What did you think of Love right off the bat here, Emilio, before we go to him at the podium?
I think he had a good game. Like Tim was saying, you know, there were some mistakes off the back foot sort of thing, but I mean, so much to look forward to and be excited about from this game. I mean, he had some of those views from, you know, the end zone, watching how tight that spiral comes out of his hand. I mean, you love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. We saw some emotion out of him on the sideline there, getting fired up when things weren't going right. You like to see that because he's been so calm and you know, collected. We've been used to just seeing him, you know, kind of one mood. So it was good to see it. The whole team was there, and you know, they were kind of all rallying. I love to see it.
Definitely. And Josh Martin, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Goose in the house says, I like to believe this win is to celebrate the birth of my son. Little man just arrived today. We've seen the pictures. Congratulations, Goose. All I got to say is that's the lucky charm, bro. Hey, I just need you to ask your wife, why couldn't she have done this last Sunday?
The question is, are you naming your son Jordan?
Oh. And can you have another one next Sunday? That's my Thursday. You have another one Thursday.
Next Thursday. It needs to come actually a little quicker.
Goose, we appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for the super chat. Congratulations on the handsome little guy there. And got a good life ahead of him rooting for the Packers, and got one of the best damn dads he could ask for. I promise you that. Appreciate the super chat. Togrel in the chat says, Matt not giving Love the chance to pass on 3rd and 6 was just pure cowardness. We played good, but if the Chargers didn't drop passes, we would have lost. I think there's some truth in that, Togrel. You know, I'm trying to look on the positive side more than the negative, but there at the end, they did play it conservative. But, you know, man, you can't really argue with the results. You know, I mean, I was sitting there going, man, if they go right down the field, man, it's going to be hard to be okay with how they handled that, right? But, again, we at this point right here, Togrel, we got to say, at least I do, and we can agree to disagree, great call by Coach LaFleur. Got it done, you know. So with that being said, appreciate the super chat, buddy. Let's go to the podium real quick. I believe Jordan's still there. And Carly Ray, we got you on hold here. We'll go to you in just a second. We want to try to catch some of Jordan at the podium. So let's see what the QB1 had to say.
Here's at 300 yards, about 2 years. Is that something that you were aware of coming into the game, and does that matter to you?
No, I mean, I wasn't aware of that. That's a pretty crazy stat, to be honest. But, you know, I think it just goes to show the work that we put in during the week. You know, the trust that everybody has in the locker room to keep growing, you know, when it's not perfect, to keep finding ways to get better every day, and keep attacking. And I think we started off fast, and like that stat is a credit to all the receivers, the O-line holding up. But obviously I didn't know that stat coming in, but it's awesome.
How long do you give yourself to savor this with Detroit on Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, we got a really quick turnaround, so we'll take the day to enjoy it. But yeah, this is going to be a tight turnaround for this week, seeing the Lions. So it's definitely a week that we got to just focus on getting our bodies back and you know, studying up on the Lions again.
From a mental prep wise, what is your typical, like you play a game on Sunday and then you get the following Sunday generally? And is the schedule any different just from your own personal perspective as far as starting the page?
Yeah, it's a lot different. You know, you usually have Monday and Tuesday kind of off days, getting back in the facility, getting your body right. So, you know, Monday will be kind of getting our install one back in, watching tape, and then Tuesday and Wednesday we're practicing. Wednesday we're leaving. So it's a very short week. So you just got to, I think the biggest thing is find a way to, you know, get your body, get the rest and recovery in to make sure we're all 100% going in next week.
What do you think of the plays Kenny made for you today to help seal the win?
Oh, I mean, obviously we know what type of player Kenny is, and I think that just him finishing off the game with that batted pass was awesome. You know, you need your best players to step up, and that's exactly what they did. You know, the defense balled out today, got a couple sacks, so you know, credit to the D-line right there.
Big play at the end there. Big play by Kenny, obviously. As I can get this to blow off here. Let's close it out. Flush it. All right. Yeah. So Kenny at the end there, obviously, is kind of sealing the game. We needed that, man. We needed him to step up there because, you know, we've been as down on Kenny as anybody. And you've seen it again today. You've seen some missed tackles, right? And I'm not going to focus on the negative. We needed this win as a fan base, but it was nice to just see him get that batted pass at the end, Tim, for sure. But yeah. Carly Ray, we've got on the line here. Carly, can you hear us? She'll be back in a minute. She's probably playing Super Mom. Tim, what do you think of the defensive? Oh, there we go. Go ahead, Carly.
Oh, no, go ahead. What were you saying? You were asking a question about the defense?
No, I was going to ask Tim, but it's good. You go right ahead. What do you got tonight?
Oh, man, I am so glad that this win came at home and we got to see some Lambeau leaps.
Yes. Well, we got two, right? So you had Jaden Reed, and then you had did you had a third that got called back, right? We got an extra one there.
Wasn't it Kraft?
Yeah, Tucker Kraft. I think it was Reed and Watson had Lambeau leaps today, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. What was your big takeaway, Carly? What stood out to you?
It was just great to see them especially in the first half, just putting things together, like playing like a team. I felt like it looked like a totally different team just right from the get-go, and that was so encouraging to see.
Yeah, definitely. Tolgro with the super chat says, sorry, just still a bit mad for not passing on that down. But boy, oh boy, give Wicks max contract. Haha. There was one drop from him, but still love him. He's a dynamite player, man. Just a spark plug in this offense. And Carly Ray, you probably agree with Tolgro, especially after your take. Was it last week that you had the take, or it might have been? I can't. I've talked to so many people. There was another listener that was complaining about how conservative we were, right, going into halftime. Was that you, Carly?
I don't think that was me in particular.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, someone was complaining about it, but yeah, you know, it was like I said, Tolgro got the job done. I understand being a little bit mad over it, but you know, a win's a win, right? But yeah, you're right about Wicks. Wicks had a great game. A lot of fun watching him and seeing these receivers kind of grow together. You're starting to see them peak now, which is really exciting. But let's do this. Carly, what else you got before we let you go?
I listened to the first half of the game on the radio because I was running around, and when the injuries happened with Jones and then with Wilson, I was like, my gut just clenched up, and I was like, oh no, this is going to take the wind out of their sails. I was so worried they were going to nosedive, and I was just praying kind of praying, but just really rooting for him to hang on, and they did. And so I am just so proud of like everybody that had to step up to make that happen, and it feels really, really good.
Yeah, for sure. And I know I see Jason in here. Let's see. Jason says, Robert, the dude isn't the long-term answer talking about Love. The sooner everyone sees that, the sooner we can start looking for the answer. This team is strong in so many places, but not at the quarterback position. I don't know, man. This is what we've been looking for. I don't know what else you would expect, Jason, to be honest with you. I've been as critical of Love as anyone, man. I think everybody would agree with that. I'm the one saying we got to wait till the end of the year, right? We got to – the people that were going nuts over him having 6 touchdowns and no interceptions, right? And I was being the Debbie Downer going, it's early, you know. And then he goes on this little stance like we got to wait till the end of the year. 27 of 40 for 322 yards, 2 touchdowns, a QB rating or a passer rating of 108.5. And that was while he took 3 sacks, losing 27 yards. Granted, a couple of those sacks, in my opinion, were on Love. But, man, I don't know what else you could ask for. I guess my question to you, Jason, is what would it take to make you a Love believer? If today's performance didn't against a superior offense, right? Granted, they were not a great defense. I think we would all agree. We kind of talked about that going into the game. But what would it take? Give me the stat line it would take for you to be a believer in Love, because his PFF grade was great 2 games ago. It stabilized last game around 71. He's now grading out in the 70s in PFF. This game will probably shoot him up even higher. You've seen the accuracy. Yes, the inaccuracies are still there, but the completion percentage is higher than that baseline we've been talking about all year. So that's my question to you, man. And here it is. I think we got an answer. He says, if the accuracy improved and we didn't see so many horrible throws, okay, how many is he allowed to have per game, I guess is the better question. Let's get down to the details. Let's get down to the specifics, right? There were inaccurate throws. There were a couple dots out there today too. So you got to take the good with the bad, that's for sure. But appreciate you commenting here in the chat, man. Nick McSwain, thank you for the super chat. Said Love was the truck, not the trailer today. That's a fact. That's a fact. That really is. And look at all the different targets he hit. As a matter of fact, he hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different targets. And of those 10 targets, is Malik Heath a rookie?
Yep.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those 10 targets were rookie pass catchers.
And we talked about this, spread the ball around and we didn't force the ball to Christian Watson today. And, you could really see a change in this offense. Spread the ball around, good things happen.
Yeah. No, I agree, Nick, though. I think he was the truck and not the trailer today for sure. Appreciate the super chat, buddy. We got some cool videos here. This comes in from Caden. You guys can follow him at Caden, Caden, Sunila. Had some really good shots of the touchdowns today. We're going to go to them real quick. This is the Jaden Reed end around from the end zone seats, in the same end zone the touchdown happened in. But check out this video. I love it, dude. Love the young Packer fans, man. Always being rebels out there in the stands. But great shot there from the end zone. Emilio, what did you think of Jaden Reed today, man? As we look at the stat line here, Jaden Reed was the leading rusher for the Packers, 3 carries for 46 yards and a tutter, and then he had 4 catches for 46 yards in the passing game. What'd you think of Jaden, man?
Everything I was saying. I wanted him to kind of be used like Debo. Let's start putting him in the backfield. Let's start making a little bit more side to side, get the ball in his hands. I think Mark said it to when he was talking to Matt, hey, Jaden Reed, he's a baller. We got to figure out ways to get the ball in his hands. And, Matt schemed it up today. I love to see that. And on that reverse there, great route into a block by Malik Heath. Really sold his corner, then turned in on the safety, blocked him up. The corner still thought he was running a route. And at that time, Reed was already past him. So just love to see it. The team, execution was better today. It's obviously it's not perfect, but
right.
The team's growing and we're seeing it. We're slowly peeling back that present. Like I said, by January, the present will be open, but we don't know what the team is until the end. So I'm excited.
Good stuff. Carly, before we let you go, you got any final comments here?
Just to go back to the comment that was made about Love and what we're looking for to see from him, I just think back to a press conference that LaFleur gave, and this was, I don't know, several weeks ago, but he was kind of answering the press about just having patience, having faith and love. And he said, I don't remember the exact words, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, like, guys, he's so close. He just needs to be so close. And so obviously Matt LaFleur knows so much more about the game and about quarterbacks than I do. And you see what you see. And obviously you guys say, you see it, you got to say it. But for somebody with that much experience to have that much faith and to know that there is this line that once they like break through that barrier, that something big's going to come from it. And I think even Aaron Rodgers said some things like that, like give him some time, he's going to be good. Like, I think we're maybe starting to see that, and I'm really excited about the future.
Yeah, definitely. And I love what LaFleur said, too. We may be talking about the same presser where he said he's just got to trust his instincts and cut it loose. He's got to stop thinking so much, right? And I think that's really what it comes down to. I think the accuracy, it's never going to be on Aaron Rodgers' level. I don't think it's fair to expect that. If it happens, great, but we know the chances of that happening is so minute, right? But he does a lot of other things, really well. The off-platform throws at times. There's a couple of times, too, he's gotten balls out as he's getting hit in the pocket. And you can kind of see, like, I'm talking about a split second, getting the ball out and you live to play another down. I just want to see him be a little less reckless in the pocket. And all that'll come with time. That's just what I'm talking about where game time's going to play into that. But, Carly, we appreciate you hopping on here. And go, Pack, go.
All right, go, Pack, go. Thanks, guys.
All right, see ya. That was Carly Ray. Love our listeners for sure. Todd Lips with the super chat says, good win. Nice to see the results of a little more seasoning of the young guys. Also nice to see the D take the fight to the Chargers. Think about that. What was the final score again? I just read it off. What was it? 23-20. What we say going into this game, Emilio?
Keep right? Under 20. 20 or under.
20 or under. Here we are. And how many people gave me absolute hell on Twitter saying, they haven't played anybody. You wait till they get to this stretch. Well, the first one's in the books. And the Chargers had the ball 3 times in the fourth quarter there at the very end, a chance to win it, and the defense rose up, right? Yeah. Okay, well, they had a drop. Gotcha. Well, just like when things don't go our way and we go, well, if ifs were fifths, we'd all be drunk, right? It doesn't matter. You
guys had a drop. Drops happen. Absolutely. It's going to happen.
But Todd, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. Godsmack AR69 with the super chat says, Love threw for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns with a suspect O-line play. I think we would all agree with that. There is no sugarcoating it. He balled out, and it's progressing nicely. The last 3 games are his best games of the year. Mm-hmm. Tim, I mean, what else? That's what I'm saying. Like when people dog him, I'm going, what else would it take to say, okay, he had a good game? Nobody's saying he's the franchise quarterback yet, with a lot of ball left, right?
Yep.
But what else would it take in a game like today to say, okay, good game?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm there. I'm there. As a matter of fact, I'm stopping myself short of saying that I think he's the dude. I mean, I really do. I'm starting to feel that way. The last really 4 to 6 weeks here, he's come along, and we're still seeing some negatives, but we're seeing more positives than the negatives, I believe. He had way more throws today that were on time, in rhythm, on target. We exploited the middle of the field at perfect times, and he delivered great balls. The throw to Christian Watson was a thing of beauty. The touch that he put on that ball, when we talk about him not being able to throw a quote unquote deep ball. I mean, that was deep enough and had a nice little fade on it. He threw a nice little he dropped it in there, in between the coverage. It was a beautiful touchdown pass. Same thing with the one to Dobbs. He really put it in a good area for Rome to go get it and just secure it. So we're seeing more positives than negatives. So I don't understand why people are still down on him. If anything, we should be as high as we have been all year on Jordan Love, really. I mean, he's playing his best ball right now.
All right. We say it every week. If you see it, you got to say it. He had a good game. You got to say it.
And that's a valid point, too. We had suspect play on our O-line. We had clean pockets today for Jordan at times, but, I mean, those pockets were collapsing on him today, and we had some issues. And he played through it, man. Played through it. I'll tell you one thing a win like this does. It shows you that in a season like this with these young guys, where pretty much everything that could go wrong has gone wrong this year, and we're still in these games, we're sticking together, and today we found a way to get it done, and we got to win. I mean, you are looking really nice for future development, because this is what is building this team, and this team is basically, they're coming together right now and learning how to win through adversity and find a way to get it done. They're playing for each other out there. I mean, look how many guys were hurt today. And we had guys just step up immediately. it was sad to see that. Jonesy went down, and then Emmanuel Wilson comes into the game, and bam, he's making plays right away, stepping up. And then what do we get? We get another injury. Hopefully he's doing okay. Separated shoulder is what I guess they're saying. This team still found a way to not fold. Carly made a great point. She thought, oh my goodness, we're going to lose some steam here. We're losing key players. What's going to happen? And we saw what happened. This team stayed together, and they played together, found a way to win. Building character goes a long way in the NFL, especially when you're a young team.
Yeah, definitely. United Bates, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Happy Watson got that touchdown. Reed was phenomenal, and Wicks doing his thing consistently open. And how about Dobbs on the late touchdown, seeing the opening, throwing up his hand, and Love delivering? You won't be able to see it that well on this clip right here, United Bates, but he did. It was supposed to be that route that we've seen where it's basically a flat and an out route, right? And really that's a cover 2 beater. You're trying to get the underneath zone or man to bite down on the flat. If he bites on the flat, you hammer the out over top of him, right? If he lays back off the flat, you hammer the flat, try to break a tackle and pick up what they give you. Dobbs seen it, recognized the safety dropped, and he just threw that hand up like they said, go to the mailbox, right? Beautiful, beautiful play. But here is actually that play. And again, this comes from Caden. Y'all go give him a follow on Twitter at CADENSUNILA. Here's the Dobbs touchdown. I love it. Him and Big B out there just having the blast, man.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was actually a 50-50 ball. So
yes.
We had a lot of chatter about what a 50-50 ball looked like. That was one, and our receiver won that battle.
Right. And that's a growth thing too, because it was like Clayton was saying, it was an out route. Dobbs and Love saw that at the same time, and they both made the decision, hey, I'm throwing it, he's running it. That's a move. That's a veteran sort of play right there. We're seeing the little incremental growths. We are. It's just everyone wants to see it so fast, man, but it's coming.
Yeah, because a month ago that'd be an extra ball pat from Jordan, right? An extra ball pat and maybe another hitch, and then we don't get that. So we see the improvement right here. He saw it, recognized it, and then he threw beautiful ball, no hesitation.
Like Matt said, let it fly. If you see it, let it fly. If a mistake happens, fine. But we're already 3-6. Why not try to grow and make all those steps? Let's do it. And we saw that today, man. They were just out there playing ball.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. And we saw a little bit of Jordan doing it with his legs too. We saw him step up and out sometimes in that pocket and throw off platform and get completions. And that's a part of his game. We mentioned that on the pregame. This might have been the day to see it, and we did. And so that's impressive to me, getting it done with his legs too.
Josh Martin, thank you for the super chat. He says, big team, come from behind, confidence building win. Heading into a short week against the Lions, I'm feeling more confident going into Thursday. Hey, that's the thing too. There isn't a person on the face of the earth expecting us to beat the Lions.
Yep.
Going in there, true underdogs. Going to have the John Madden patch on the jersey, right? It's going to be Thanksgiving Day football. The whole nation is watching, right?
Yep.
Most of the world probably with the popularity of the NFL now.
Yep.
So let's go in there and play with the house's money, man, right? That's what it comes down to.
I promise you, these guys did not forget what happened on Thursday Night Football the last time that they met. And this team is going to go in there on a mission. And it would be nothing short of phenomenal to go in there and punch them in the mouth right away and get a dub on the road on Turkey Day. Go Pack, go! I can see it. You talk about momentum. Now what are they going to say, Clayton? Right? We go into the Motor City and spank Detroit on Thanksgiving. Now what are they going to say?
Yeah.
What are they going to say now about this team? Are you still going to doubt? Are you going to still think we're not trending upwards?
Right.
I think they're 7-point favorites too, if I remember correctly. Make it 9, make it 10.
Yeah, right.
Just keep talking that trash. For sure. But Josh Martin, thank you for the super chat. Tolger with the super chat says, last week, half of Love's completions would end up with receiver on the ground right after the catch. This week, 80% of the passes were right on target. Big improvement on the ball placement. The only knock I have on Love is some mental mistakes. You remember the play, I think it was right there before halftime. He decided to scramble rather than throw it away, and they had to burn their last time out. That probably cost you another shot at the end zone. And then the throw to Watson on the sideline there, Watson couldn't get his feet in. That throw was a little bit too far off the mark for me. But how about Christian Watson getting that tutter today? And what did he do? After some fans bashed the hell out of him, and they went after his parents on Twitter, and they were just, oh my God, right? We talked about this pregame show. I'm gonna hammer it home one more time. What was the first thing he did when he scored a touchdown? He went and jumped in the stands with the fans. Come on, let's be better. Let's be better as a fan base, please. There's no one more upset about his lack of performance this year than Christian Watson. I promise you that. Right. So I know those people sitting on their couch with the Cheeto stain on the hip of their whitey tighties, think that it's more important to them than it is Christian Watson, who's trying to be the best version of himself, or they think it's more important to them than it is his family. Like, just everybody chill out, man. Chill out. Watch some football. Understand it's a young team, and let's root them on. Maybe if he got, just 50% of the praise, if you took 50% of that criticism and turn it into praise and say, hey, man, we're behind you, we're rooting for you, maybe he makes those plays more often, right? But this could be the game, just like the game last November against the Cowboys, Emilio, remember? That's what pulled him out of that slump, and what Aaron Rodgers said. It just takes one. It just takes one. He said they said, what'd you think of Christian Watson? He said, I think it's a perfect case study for how it just takes one play to change someone's career completely around. Right.
So true.
But Togro, thank you so much for the super chat there, buddy. We appreciate you. We seen Matt at the podium just a second ago. I'm going to see if he's still there. I know people are having a hard time hearing it probably, but there's nothing we can do about it because they control, obviously, he's already gone. They control the volume, right, in which the press conferences are in. I can't adjust it at all. I'll tell you what we can do. We can go take a peek at QB1 leaving the field just a second ago. This is kind of cool. You guys can see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. This was QB1 leaving the field after the game. They get the sound down. Must have been some language. Love it, dude.
Throw the towel. High fives on the way out.
Yes, sir.
That's a Jordan Love trademark, man. That's almost every home game. He always takes a minute over there going into the tunnel. I mean, a lot of the guys do too, but hey, man, we love us some Love here in Green Bay, man. I'm going to speak for myself, but I think I'll speak for a lot of the fans. We do believe. There are those of us that do believe in him, and a lot of ball left, guys. A lot of ball left.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Completely agree. And again, man, when you see the way he carries himself, you want him to be the guy. You want him to be the guy because he's just, and you seen him get fiery today. He got on some people's rear ends today.
That's what I was saying. Yep. I love that.
Yeah. And I was immediately thinking those fans better keep their mouths shut. The one that jumped all over Aaron for doing that. That's a part of the game, man. That's you. And think about how far it goes. Whoever he was getting on at the time, then they go down and score a touchdown.
Right.
Yeah. That's
I'd be more upset if I didn't see my quarterback doing that.
Right.
Right. Bring that fire, man. I'm telling you. I love it.
Boz, thank you so much for the super chat.
I'll snag it, Boz.
That is way too generous, man. He says, damn it, Emilio, put your sombrero on. Victory sombrero. You better turn off that camera and find it or something's all I got to say, Emilio. I ain't having it. Emilio! Sombrero. Boz, thank you so much, buddy, for the super chat. You've always been nothing but a blessing to us, and we don't take it lightly, man. We appreciate it.
He really turned his camera off. Oh, look at that. There it is. Bam! Instant.
He said, ask and you shall receive. Look at that thing right there.
Got you, Boz. This for Jonesy. We all in good health. We hope he's good.
Yes.
Oh, love it, man. Let's see what else we got here in the chat. Let's try to. There it is. Carly Ray says victory sombrero. Let's see what Stephen Smith says in the chat. He says, I'm more worried about our horse barn and the defense barn with all the injuries. A horse barn and the defense barn. I don't know, man. I think somebody's been in the daddy sodas over there.
Talking about a running back room?
Probably his running back room, right?
Yeah.
The workhorses and
the stalls are emptying. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I was getting ready to say, man, I was about to hit him with one of these.
Gentlemen, which brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
All right, we got what you're saying there, though, Stephen, a proud member of the PTA posse. We appreciate you, buddy. Let's see here. We got Cheesehead Murph in the house says,
yes.
I've been screaming for Jordan to show emotion. Hey, you seen it, man, for sure.
I'm with you, Murph. Yeah. I'm with you. We've been waiting for it. We know that fire's in there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan's just not a big rah-rah dude, right? He's a little more reserved and calm, but it was good to see that Mamba mentality fire come out today, man.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to want it more than everybody else, right?
Right. And you saw Herbert. Herbert did the same thing to his O-line. I mean, on him. like Wydan Rice, like you need to get that ball back to me ASAP. Let's go. And I just love to see it, man. How can we not get excited about Jordan Love taking a little bit of, it's his team. He is QB1 at this point. You put up or shut up. You're the one going out, you're having all the interviews. You're the one talking to the media. You're the one carrying that G. You're the face of the team. And I just love to see it. It's exciting to see him grow in actual live game reps and, move forward and progress with the young team. And you said, 6 of those passes were to rookies? Probably the next 3 are also to second-year players. The only one that or you might have 2 passes, one to AJ, one to Aaron Jones. That's it. Everybody else is second-year or rookies. So it's good to see, man.
Yeah, definitely. Nick McSwain in the chat said LaFleur said Jones probably not long-term. I hope that is the case.
Wow, really?
We immediately was like, man, is this it for Jonesy?
Yeah.
It looked ugly, Tim. It looked real ugly.
Yeah, it did. And, his reaction to me looked like 50%, tears of pain and then 50% sad that I'm not going to be able to play. He kind of reacted like Bosa did, whatever's going on with Bosa's foot on the other side there.
Mm-hmm.
There's 20 some odd bones in your foot. You can break a lot of bones. That's a real delicate area of our human body. So you never know. Sometimes things on the field, they make noises or they hurt a lot right away. And then it turns out not to be so serious. So prayers up, man, for sure for Jonesy. Hopefully it's not long term.
Yeah. Stephen Smith in the chat said, LOL, the Clydesdales is what he's referring to. I got you.
Yeah.
Perfect Dart said that hat is for nacho dip. It probably would. Yeah, you could probably hit some nacho dip in there, my man. I could see that being the case.
Been to a couple games.
Yeah. Let's see what else we've got here. All right. Jason's still in the chat. He's gonna die on that hill, I guess, but it's all good. Let's go to the box score real quick. Justin Herbert, one of the great young quarterbacks in the game, right? He went 21 of 36 for 260 and 2 touchdowns, no picks, right? We talked about how well they protect the ball. Look at us against our running game. Austin Eckler, 10 carries for 64 yards, averaged 6.4 a pop. Joshua Kelly, their other running back, 6 carries for 13 yards. So, Austin Eckler had a little bit of success there, but I think just the way the game flowed and obviously the way that the LA Chargers like to pass the ball so much. Justin Herbert, 8 carries for 73 yards. We seen that coming. Keenan Allen, the reports were correct by Tom Pelissero. Didn't see limited at all. 10 catches for 116 yards and a touchdown. Guys, what you're seeing here is we got stops when we needed it, but the offense gets the game ball. The offense stepped up when we needed it the most and made it happen. The defense played good, I thought. I thought they played pretty well, but you got to give the game ball to the offense for sure. Jordan Love, 27 of 40, 322 yards, averaged 8.1, and then had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Like I said, a rating of 108.5. Jaden Reed, the leading rusher for the Packers, 3 carries for 46 yards. A.J. Dillon got stopped today, 14 carries for 29 yards for 2.1 a pop. Of course, Jaden Reed had the touchdown too. But the cool thing about our boy A.J. Dillon today, 4 catches for 32 yards. He was effective, had that long 20-yard pass catch and run. Absolutely huge there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, in the receiving column, you had Dontavian Wicks, 3 catches for 91 yards. Romeo Dobbs, 5 catches for 53 yards and a tutter. Look at Dontavian Wicks averaging 30 yards a catch today, guys. That is awesome. Jaden Reed, 4 catches for 46 yards. He was averaging 11.5 yards a catch. Tucker Kraft, 2 catches for 32 yards, averaging 16 a catch. He was targeted twice, caught them both. Look at Tucker Kraft turning it on a little bit. Like I said, A.J. Dillon, 4 catches for 32 yards. Luke Musgrave, 4 catches for 28 yards. Christian Watson, 2 catches for 21 yards and had the tutter. Emmanuel Wilson had a grab for 9 yards, and he looked good on that grab too, right there. So as far as fumbles, Jordan Love did fumble twice. They didn't lose any of them. He recovered one of them himself. Keyshawn had a fumble. He recovered it himself as well. On the defensive side of the ball, you had Jonathan Owens leading the way with 8 tackles. I think he had a bad game, me personally. I've seen him in coverage a couple times, but still 8 tackles. Great job there. Had a couple missed tackles as well. I think it was more about opportunities than anything. Devondre Campbell, before he got hurt, had 7 tackles, 1 for a loss. He was having a pretty good game. Keyshawn Nixon, 7 tackles, 1 for a loss. I think Key had kind of a bad game too with the penalty and some blown coverage there as well. Quay Walker, 7 tackles. Corey Ballantyne, 5 tackles with 1 pass deflection. Anthony Johnson Jr., 4 tackles. I'll tell you this too. I thought he was going to get hit with a penalty there in the end zone, guys. You know what I'm talking about? That hit where the receiver was kind of defenseless.
Yeah, but I
led with the shoulder though, didn't he?
Yeah, and that's what I was telling my wife. I said because live you see it and you're like, oh my god, and then you kind of look back and it's like, wow, did you see him? He turned in at the last second and got his head out and hit with the shoulder, and then it looked like shoulder to shoulder. It didn't look like the shoulder came to the head or neck area.
Right.
So when you look at it, but yeah, you're right, Clayton. Too close for comfort, right? You got to be smart there. That was borderline not even a catchable ball. If you're really watching it, I mean, it looked like it was right off his hands. He was going up. You got to know, man, because a penalty there really screws us, right?
Right.
I mean, you're talking a new set of downs, first and goal scenario. But yeah, I thought he did a good job at least not leading with the crown of the head. Because if he did that, that's a no-brainer. That's going to get flagged immediately now.
Yeah, definitely. Carrington Valentine had 4 tackles, had 3 passes defended, so basically 3 pass breakups. That's awesome. Van Ness had a couple tackles. Rashawn Gary had 2 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, and 2 quarterback hits. Preston Smith had 2 quarterback hits. Carl Brooks with a sack and a quarterback hit. Kenny Clark, I know he had a few pressures. His grade's probably going to be pretty bad, guys, simply because he missed a few tackles. You could just see it all over the tape. Just watching it on the TV copy there, but Devontae Wyatt only 1 tackle. Man, he's hard to watch. That he basically had a free run sack on Herbert and just ran right by him. They're gonna have to teach that guy how to tackle, man. He's got just this bag full of talent. Emilio, I can't take you serious with that damn sombrero on. I'm just telling you. I'm glad you got it on. Don't get me wrong.
Jim about lost his coke.
I'm sitting there looking. I'm trying to be serious. I look down and you're just you look like somebody.
I want to dip a chip in there, man. I'm trying to
Yeah, I'm telling you, right down here on Bobby Hicks Highway, there's one of the best Mexican restaurants I'm telling you I've ever had. It's called La Carreta. You can go down there right now, and there's 3 guys that look just like Emilio. I'm just telling you, those people are absolutely awesome down there too. But I don't even remember what I was talking about.
No, we were talking about teaching Devontae Wyatt how to tackle.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because he's got all of this talent, and it's just. He just can't tackle, man. He can't break down and tackle. And when he gets a hold of him, he's violent. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like, man, it's tough. So tough. Let's see what Paul Robertson said. I think he's kind of not anti-love, but he's kind of on the opposite side of the fence. Let's see what Paul says in there. He says, it's not hate and love. It's just accurately assessing the performance in the environment it occurred in. That's what analysis is, and it seems to hurt some feelings. So you're saying he had a bad game today, Paul? Correct me in there, buddy. Let me know what you mean there. Because I know Jason agrees with you there. I'm just trying to figure out kind of where the mindset is. We've talked bad about Love all year long during the bad games. He had a good one today.
And to that point, Clayton. So when was the last time we saw a 300-yard game? It was Aaron Rodgers back in 2021. We didn't even see it last year. So this team has been waiting for something. How can we not get excited about the one thing that we've been begging for? How long did it take Justin Fields to get his first 300-yard game?
This is the part. This is the part that bothers me. See, Jason, this is where you're getting kind of like, I can't follow you now, buddy. One good game doesn't make a Hall of Famer. Who the hell said Jordan Love was a Hall of Famer?
Right.
Did somebody say it in the chat? Like, I missed it if they did. I don't know. But anyway, we're not going to stay on this conversation.
And just really quick, Clayton. So 27 of 40, that percentage, when you divide that out, do you know what that is more than?
What's it more than?
Hold on. So 27 divided by 40, I think that is 67 and a half, which would be
65%.
65%. That's what we finally hit it. That was pretty organic there too. Goose says, dude, I can't keep in mind, Goose is at the hospital, right? With the newborn. Right. He said, dude, I can't explain how good some Mexican food sounds right now. I don't know if DoorDash can work across country lines, but I'm willing to DoorDash you some Mexican up there in the great country of Canada. If it's allowed, Goose, you just let me know what you want, buddy. Send it your way. So, let's see. We're at the 39-minute mark. We went through all the stats, got all that right. Let's go back to Twitter. We can kind of walk back through the game if you guys want to. I love charting and kind of following along by quarter. That first quarter, man, I had way more negatives than positive. I mean, way more negatives than positive. One of those opening drive. It might have been the opening drive for the Packers. They had 2 downs to get 1 yard, right? and they ran the end around and then threw it 15 yards in the flat. And it was like, you need 1 yard. And they tried to run the end around out of the condensed set, trying to appear as if they're going to run the love shove, or, the brotherly shove, if you will. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided to get cute with an end around. It got stuffed. Right. And some people go, well, it worked later in the game. It worked when you're spread out. When you're in that condensed set, more can go wrong than right.
And there's that doggone play call again on a third down.
Yeah.
I'm like, why this overly complex stuff when we need a yard? I was so happy later on when we had a 3rd and 1 and we handed the ball to AJ Dillon and he got us 1 yard. That's what we need to do. I don't understand we see a lot of these plays that go out to the side and it's a lot of razzle dazzle and it's no gain, or it's a loss of yards. And it's just, I don't think it's a bad play. I think it's bad timing with some of these gadget calls, honestly.
Because how many times did that work for AJ Dillon? I'm pretty sure it was like 4 or 5 times that we needed two or 3 yards and he got 4 or 5, or we needed 1 and he got 3.
Inside zone or outside a little bit, and keep the feet moving. That's what a back like that is on your team to do, correct? Right? Get us a little bit of yardage, keep the sticks moving forward.
Right.
But yeah, I'm with you, man. That just looked like a lot of complexity when it was unnecessary.
Right. And AJ, who's getting hot as the season goes on, he's running harder. He's running downhill. We're giving it to him downhill, which is exciting. I don't know how many times we gave it to him out of sidecar, but I don't think it was a lot. I think Matt LaFleur is starting to, narrow, getting the blinders on for what player does what well. And let's try to work him, down that alleyway so that we can, benefit the team.
Yep.
Yeah. Paul Robertson in the chat said, a bad game? No. Talking about Love. I just didn't see enough to show me that Love isn't more than a game manager. Wide receivers were wide open. If Chargers don't beat themselves, we don't win. So you're saying he had a good game, if I'm understanding correctly. Okay. I completely agree. The Chargers made mistakes just like the Packers did. Completely agree. So I don't think that's a crazy take, Paul, for sure, man. So later in the first quarter there, dropped INT, right? We got to stop, but it was still a dropped INT. There was like 2 or 3 guys there. Carrington Valentine was there. I think Keyshawn or Jonathan Owens was there as well. Then you come out, the offense goes 3 and out the very next drive. You had an explosive run that you gave up, and to me, it looked like Preston didn't set the edge. Devontae Wyatt busts through the middle. Kind of looks like he was being tackled by the offensive lineman, but none didn't make the tackle. Should have been bottled up in the backfield. Great play call by Barry there. The first down shot underthrown by Love, right? You've seen the inconsistencies with the deep ball for sure. And then, of course, Dillon with that catch and run kind of straightened things out to get a first down there in the first quarter. In the second quarter, Jaden Reed came alive. That's when you've seen that end-around touchdown, obviously. And then the TD that they gave up, it was blown coverage. To me, it looked like Dre dropped him and he shouldn't have. So it was blown coverage, and then Owens missed the tackle as the Charger went into the end zone there. Next drive, you got Yosh with the penalty. Love with the snap, pushed back the missed field goal. If you guys remember, they pushed that field goal back like 5 more yards, maybe 7 more yards. And that was probably the difference in him hitting that field goal, to be honest with you. And then, of course, Reed on 3rd and long had a great catch. This is right before halftime. And then, like I said, my big knock on Love was him mismanaging the clock there. That ended up leading to 3 points when you could add another shot at the end zone. So you go into halftime to 10-10. If I remember correctly, I believe the middle late, Tim, you asked me this. I think the middle late, I'm almost positive it was 3-3 is what it ended up being with the middle 8. But early on in the game, anything you guys want to comment on there? Did that trigger any thoughts for you, Tim?
Yeah, it did actually. That one you were talking about, let's see, we were talking about the deep ball with Jonathan Owens and Campbell. There was a little pass off that might not have been there. But what I saw was pre-snap was Anthony Johnson Jr. was way out of position and not it looked like he was on an island running his own play or something. And we didn't have a little help back there, but he's a rookie and sometimes those things happen. And I think that's really when we look at this as, I'm kind of got the same thing you got. I charted the game today too. And that's what I saw. We talked about not shooting ourselves in the foot. Like, we can't deny, like, we shot ourselves in the foot all day long today. There were times that we were making mistakes, but when you keep your head down and you play hard, you can play through that and still find a way to get a win. And that's what I'm most proud of this team doing. But in the first half, I think what stood out to me is that stupid penalty to start the game. I like Matt LaFleur's immediate response. We're backed up, and it's like dart, dart, dart. Let's go. We tried. We ended up not converting, but I like that attitude of, we're not just going to try and give ourselves breathing room. I mean, he was taking shots right away, and we were trying to move the ball. So I think that was telling offensively for our momentum as a team. But first half was tough, man. There are a lot of ups and downs, but hey, it was crucial to get that field goal. We wanted the tutty at the end, but to tie that game up at 10 going in the half was absolutely crucial, especially with the Chargers deferring and taking the ball in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Emilio? Anything stick out to you in the first half?
I mean, I'm glad we put up points. We're still the offense. We put up a touchdown. We're seeing that we can still get the ball, move down the field. Tucker Kraft had, almost had that one there. But it was, if we think about it though, for the defense, we basically had the wide receiver group in on defense. We had 3 rookies out there, and we had Jonathan Owens and Keyshawn. So we had 2 veterans, or at least someone that's played in the NFL before, and then we had 3 rookies out there. And they, like we're saying, if the defense can keep them to 20, the offense should be enough to win that game. We finally won, or I guess our second one of the year. We're 2-4 in 1 or 4-point games. So it's the little things that we've been waiting for all year that we are finally seeing. It finally came together here. We got a win. We got a tight win in a 1-score game that this team needed, and it's great momentum rolling into next week.
Yeah. Drew D in the chat said Chargers has some good defensive talent that can wreck a game, though. It's very true, man. Very true. 2 of the best edge rushers in the game. Bosa going down, you never want to see anybody get hurt. I don't care who your favorite team is, but Bosa going down really helped the Packers as well today. You've got to take that into consideration, too. As you see Big E leaving the field here on the Packers Twitter account. Pretty cool.
After his Lambeau leap. You saw him pop up in there?
Did he really? I missed that.
It was on Reed's, I think, on his run or something. He ran up and hopped up in there too.
Heck yeah.
I can't wait to see Jenkins' PFF grades too, because I got a feeling, because you talk about Bosa going down. I mean, Khalil Mack stepped up when that happened, and he was a problem on that side for us. And I really think Big E there at left guard was kind of the glue holding whatever we could together over there on the edge, because Yash played his guts out, man, but there was some struggles there on that side for sure. Had his hands full all day.
Definitely. So as we fast forward to the third quarter, on my notes here, I've got Devontae White, another missed sack. Like I said, had Herbert dead to rights and just ran right by him, missed him. The defense obviously held him to a field goal. Love takes the sack out of field goal range. You cannot do that, man. Huge mental mistake there. For Jordan, and those are the things I think with time they're going to learn. He's going to learn. You can't take that sack and give up that field goal if you know to throw the ball away and know, okay, probably in this situation here, if the first 2 reads aren't there, just get rid of it.
Right.
Throw it over the out, out of bounds, right? And that way you don't get called grounding. He's stood there trying to make something happen, and you're seeing that week in and week out. It's one of the things that definitely gets a negative mark for me. Is his pocket awareness. You just got to be – you can't be so reckless in the pocket. And some people watch the tape and go, he's not reckless, man. He looks calm back there. Yeah, but you can't stand back there for 6-7 seconds. You just can't. Right. You're begging for someone to strip the sack. And we talked about it, Tim, in the pregame show, man. Remember that I think they were leading the league in forced fumbles, and it's from those 2 edge defenders stripping sacks. And you've seen one today, right?
So, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And you got to know, and again, I talked about that internal clock that a quarterback needs to have in this league, regardless of what's going on. You've got to know how long you're in there holding the ball.
Yep.
It does not matter what kind of line or pass pro you have. That ball's got to come out. And, especially down in distance and situation, you got to know, sure, there's a time to tuck it and try and run. But you definitely can't be taking a sack. And, kudos to Jordan Love, though, because I think that gives us some insight into the type of quarterback we have. We've got a dude that is like trying to win and wants to make a play. And so I'm okay with that mentality that he's thinking, well, if I don't have to throw it away, I don't want to. I'd rather, make something happen if I can. But at a certain point, that can lead to picks, as we've seen, and we can lead to strip sacks and all kinds of craziness. And I think Jordan Love is starting to see that, right, guys? Like some of the toughest lessons we learn in our life, we have to learn them on our own, and we got to learn them by doing and, kind of learn the hard way. And I think Jordan is slowly coming around, as we saw today, more throws in rhythm, less hesitation to get the ball out, but yet still a work in progress, right? So,
yeah,
Still giving him thumbs up today, though, for J Money, man. He's on the rise for sure.
We got the first Joe Barry hate comment of the night. Here we go. Brother Parya, I hope I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not. Joe Barry reminds me of Dom Capers. Trash. Are you talking about the Dom Capers that coached defense in the NFL for 40 years and won, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 Super Bowls as a DC? Is that the same one? Yeah. So if he reminds you of Dom Capers, who is arguably one of the best DCs, one of the best defensive minds to ever coach in the NFL, I think that's way better than most people see Joe Barry, me personally. Derek K says, not trash if you hold to 20 or lower. That's what I'm saying. Just like the Love stuff, like there's times he's underperformed. There's times the defense has been bad. What would it take today for you to go good defense? And I think what you see, just to be completely honest here, gang, you see people who have been very, very, very vocal about their stance. They've been very vocal about we shouldn't have let go of Aaron Rodgers. I've been one of those people, right? They've been very vocal about Jordan Love is the guy, or Jordan Love isn't the guy, or Joe Barry is trash, or Joe Barry isn't the problem. And then when it doesn't fit their belief or what they've been so vocal about, you get a little bit nervous, a little bit skittish, like, I don't want to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong, so, especially if being wrong means your team is doing good. Like, everybody is wrong. You listen to this podcast, you know I'm wrong. My God, I'm married. I'm wrong all the time. I say that all the time, right? Like, when you voice your opinion, you're never going to be 100% accurate. And if you really get away from your ego and say, all right, I don't have to be right. I just want to understand the game and understand exactly what's going on and have a good time watching it. I don't understand why people get so caught up in that. But Derek, I agree, man. I think if you had told me going into this game, just like we said going in, me and Tim talked about, me and Emilio talked about, if you can hold them to 20 points or less, man, you probably win this ball game. And that's exactly what happened. So fan how you want to fan. I'm just saying, man, don't ever get to the point where you feel like, you've got to pound something home, even though it may not be true in this very moment, just because you're afraid of being inaccurate with an opinion you had before.
Right.
Life's too short, man.
Trying to hammer a nail into concrete, it ain't going to work, man.
Yeah, right. Like I said, we're all wrong. We've all been wrong about things. Josh Martin with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Watson played better, but still goes really wide on his routes. Is that the coach is teaching him or his own doing? I think it's his own doing personally, because look at how Wicks is running routes, right? Wicks is running great routes. Jaden Reed's running great routes. Obviously, Dobby, he's running great routes. I think it's just kind of how Christian Watson's built. And we knew him coming out of that small school that it was going to take some time to master the craft of being a good NFL wide receiver, right? And Coach LaFleur talked about it last week. We actually played the clip on Chalk Talk of how he's talking about, you got to get your head around on that out and up, that chair, that Omaha pump, whatever you want to call it. You got to get your head out. That's supposed to look like an out. And like me and Tim pointed out, kind of angled it up almost like a mini corner and then tried to wheel it off. I think it'll come with time. The problem with Christian Watson is he had that breakout second half last year, and we thought, okay, this is what to expect now. Well, the other team gets paid too. And there is such a thing as a sophomore slump. Some of the greatest players in NFL history have hit that sophomore slump. Peyton Manning, for the longest time, if he still doesn't hold it, or he may still hold it, he held the rookie interception record, right? Now think about this. Think about if Jordan Love this year broke the interception record. We would be done. I would be done with him. I'm just being honest. I'd be like, okay, this isn't the guy. Imagine if they had done that with Peyton Manning his rookie year. Right. And I understand Jordan isn't a rookie. Totally different there. I got you. It's just another example of you got to let people kind of grow and put things into perspective. Now, listen, with that being said, awesome game by Jordan Love. I think this was a step in the right direction. If he continues to do it like he has the last 2 games, we might have the quarterback of the future. But if you go into April and there is just 1% of hesitation of whether or not Jordan's the guy, and you have a slam dunk draft pick in your opinion, your evaluation that, hey, this is the highest grade we've ever had on a quarterback, this is in that Aaron Rodgers range, you got to pull the trigger and take it. And then let the guys battle it out, right? Look at San Francisco. That's what they did. People called them stupid because Trey Lance, they traded him, right? And look at what Brock Purdy's doing. 20 of 30 on explosive passing plays, I think, of 20 or 30 yards down the field, like leading the league in that. If they weren't willing to admit that mistake on Trey Lance, they wouldn't have the quarterback they got right now. And I haven't looked at the scores today. They're liable to got boat race today and not even know it. But that's the way it is. But, yeah, as far as Watson, I don't know. What do you think, Emilio? I think he's I think he's just still a little bit raw, right? And
Right.
it's going to be ups and downs.
Yeah, I mean, to the point I said earlier, he's throwing to rookies, second-year players, Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. That's who he's throwing to. The team is growing together. Yeah, Christian Watson didn't swing his head around. Yeah, you got to sell the route a little bit more. Get the DB to open his hips, get the DB to start backpedaling before you make your break. Those little things, yes, we need to hammer him out. We need to, get those niches down, but he's still we produced a touchdown. There's still points going on the board. We're still trying to get him the ball on reverses. Matt LaFleur isn't taking the ball out of his hands. He's not taking the ball out of Jordan Love's hand. We threw the ball 40 times today. Probably 3 or 4 of those were throwaways. We're not just one-dimensional. We're not just running the ball. We're not just passing the ball. I think, Matt LaFleur is trying to get it all, out there. But, for Watson, I think he's growing. We just, like I said, we just want to see it ASAP. We want to see it yesterday. We want to see it 2 weeks ago. And the problem is they take you can't put a piece of, you can't put a seed in the ground and you want corn the next day. It doesn't work like that. All right. We got to wait our turn and we got to see what comes out of this.
I think it's very well said. Thank you, Josh Martin, for the super chat. Tim, this one's for you. Tolger with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He said, lads, I think we have a kicker problem. Tim, you were the president of the Anders Carlson fan club, like I am the president of the Rudy Ford fan club, right? First of all, you can't get a comment like that and not go to this video right here.
And I'll kick the bloody piss out of it.
Someone says lads, right? So, Tim, what is your assessment? You being the wiry former kicker gentleman that you are.
I gotta tell you guys, his kickoffs looked weak too today, which was really alarming to me. I think when it comes to the place kicking, I think it's a little bit of the yips. I think he's in his head too much. That first, the 52-yarder that he missed, that to me just looked like a poor strike on the ball, almost like a kind of a lazy approach, lazy strike on the ball. And then the missed extra point, it looked like he was steering it. Like we talked about Jordan with some of those throws, like steering a throw instead of just slinging it. It's like the same thing as a kicker, man. You got to just trust the mechanics, get that plant leg down and drive through the ball and not worry so much about placing it and steering it. Yeah, there's an issue there. I'm wondering if a lot of this is stemming from some of the poor play we've seen on field goal kicks by our line. And I don't know if this young kicker has that confidence that he's not going to have some dude flying at him every time he's trying to kick a ball. And mentally, that'll screw with you. Guys, place kicking in the NFL, anybody play golf out there? We got any golfers? It's like a kicker is like a golfer, man. It's as much mental as it is physical. And if the slightest bit of focus is lost or you're doubting anything you're doing out there, you're going to see things like we saw today. He had enough leg to hit that one from 62 today, but bad strike on the ball. Same thing. Is there an excuse for missing an extra point in the NFL? Not really. Even, I don't care what you say. Those should still be pretty much automatic. And I'm not taking anything away from how difficult it is to kick when you've got, a bunch of psychopaths running at you trying to block the ball. But dude, you've got to block that out and you've got to just trust. There's so much trust involved for a kicker. You got to trust your long snapper, your holder, your line to hold. You got to trust that your read on the wind prior to the kick was on point. Your plant, there's so many things that go into it. And I really think with Anders, man, it's up here, dude. I think it's up here. Unless there's something physically going on with him that they're not talking to us about, a la Joey B there, kind of left off the injury report or whatever. But I don't think that's what's happening. I think this could be a confidence issue and a mental issue, honestly, because, mechanically it looked okay. Other than that, like I said, that first one, I believe Clayton, you said one looked like a kind of a crummy snap. And that can happen too. That can affect your stride and your timing as you approach the ball. Like you're getting ready to plant and that ball's not down yet. That can distract you and you see a guy sail one wide right. I will tell you the fact that they were both missed wide right makes me feel better about him correcting this. You start seeing him missing all over the place, then I'd be really concerned. But to me, this looks like hopefully he can correct it. And, we got a short week here, so we'll see.
Yeah. And I mean, to that point, like Rich was saying in his interview the other day, is he got away with one on the first kickoff last game. Then the second kickoff went out of bounds. So he knows how he's drawing it, how he's placing it. But like Tim was saying, I think it's a motion thing. He's not swinging through. It looked kind of like he short-legged it. I mean, try to go through, try to drive a ball in golf, and you don't slice it, man. That thing's gone. So I think he's, like you were saying, steering it. He's trying to place it. But how is that not another growing? How did we not think that we were going to have a little bit of growing pain with a rookie kicker? We made the commitment to him. There wasn't a battle. There wasn't anything like that. We decided, hey, this kid's got a leg. He can play in weather. Let's see him do that. He's kicking in Lambeau. The weather's changing. Yeah, he needs to finish some of those for sure. He's got to kick through it. But all of this was expected. We just didn't want to say it. We just didn't want to see it, really.
Right.
But the teams, they're working for it. I'm excited to see what Carlson can do. It is tough where he's been at, with how well he kicked at the beginning of the season.
How cool to go to Detroit though and get a chance for him to correct this in a dome. We're going to have none of those issues here on Thursday. Now, of course, you've got the rookie dealing with the pressure of national TV on Thanksgiving and all of that.
We need this. We need this.
Yep. Ice water in the veins, man.
Yep.
We got to.
What we need is.
And I'll kick the bloody piss out of it.
That is
like we said about Jordan, right? Just cock back and let it rip. Trust it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with our kicker. Trust it, man.
Yeah. If you make mistakes,
mechanics can be fixed, man. But if you've got something rattling around in your head and you're not focused, I don't know how to fix that. You have to commit to blocking that crap out. That's what being a pro is,
right? On the wide 53-yard kick, even though it looked like he short-legged it, could you imagine if he kicked through it, missed it at 100%? Good from 65. Who knows? It was just.
What's crazy is on that maybe he makes it because he was just wide of the upright. I mean, if you're blasting that really hard, maybe that's one of those that doinks in or sneaks just in. We talk about this game being a game of inches, and that goes all around. Just the slightest inaccuracy or movement in anything you do, man, and that's the result. But I really do. I think it's more up here for him right now, and just hope he can work through it.
Yeah, when I watch him kick, and especially in a situation where it's high, it's game on the line, a lot of stress, dude. I'm over here holding my diesel shaking, bro. You know what I mean? Like coffee mug trying to, I don't know how they do it. I'm just being honest. And on top of that, to swing your leg hard enough to pull a butt cheek, I could barely take the trash down the driveway here, about 150 feet. I couldn't imagine, the conditioning, everything it takes. We look at kickers like, oh, they're just kickers, dude. There's a lot of training that goes into that. There's a lot of athleticism. There's a lot of just flexibility, you name it. So it's hard for me to go, oh, this guy. I don't get mad at kickers. If anything, I feel bad for them because it's like you sit on the sideline the entire game and then you're called on in the clutch situation. All right, go out there and bang this thing through. Whew, that's a tough job, man. That's a tough gig. Godsmack AR69, thank you for the super chat. He says, can someone remind me how the heck Jaden Reed dropped to the second round? And to think we traded back for the guy. Future receiver one, clearly. I'll tell you, from my perspective, Godsmack, he wasn't on my radar because the 2022 tape didn't look that good. Now, after they drafted him, I'm like, what did they see? The 2022 tape don't look great. Let's go back to 2021. Oh, there it is.
Boom.
So I think to answer your question, in my opinion, I could be wrong, Godsmack. I feel like he had a down 2022 year and he sunk on some people's boards. And again, I tell this story all the time. It's one of my favorite draft day moments. Sitting here on the stream with Ryan, Pack Daddy, from Packernet Podcast, and they traded down once, and I'm going, man, they traded back. Okay, it's got to be Jalen Hyatt. They're trading back because nobody's on Jalen Hyatt. And they traded back a second time, and I literally spun around, looked at my board, and went, who are they eyeing here that nobody's got their eyes on? Because when you trade back twice, what you're essentially saying is you've got a cluster of players, right? Yeah. But it's either you've got a cluster of players and you feel good picking any of them because they're in the same tier and it might be a position of need, or there's someone here that no one else sees. And I think that was the case with Jaden Reed. But what do you think, Tim? As Godsmack asked here, how did Jaden Reed drop so far in the second round?
Don't know, don't care. Glad we got him. He's here. Don't matter to me. I like that future number one receiver, right? There's certainly certainly a lot of tape that would lead us to believe that to be a true statement. I think he's on the mark here. But again, like I feel like with our team, a bona fide number one I don't think that's exactly what we need, at least not right now. Eventually one of those will emerge. I do believe that, but we got a dub today spreading the ball around. There's a lot of targets, a lot of pass catchers on this team, guys, not just receivers. So, our tight ends can make catches. Hopefully Jonesy's okay. I mean, we have running backs that can make catches. Emmanuel Wilson looked good catching the ball today in a little bit of action we saw. Hopefully that shoulder is not, super, super serious for him going forward. Because, man, let me tell you, you talk about a position that the shoulder injury is going to affect you. It's certainly a running back who's, getting his pads down and hitting the line every time he gets the ball. So hopefully he's all right. But, yeah, man, I think I don't know. I think spreading the ball around is the key right now. We'll see what the future holds and who else we're going to have in here personnel-wise going forward into, 24, 25, in the future. But, yeah, Jaden Reed is him. He is that dude. That was when I think we were all right about Clayton, right? I think we all saw that. We were happy to see him at camp. We had a lot of talk over the summer about, man, we can't believe we got this guy. Fell to the second round. That's awesome. So, and we're seeing it on the field now. Continuing to execute.
I went and watched that 2021 tape, and I'm seeing people reporting on the Packers there after the draft going, oh, they got their slot receiver, they got their Cobb, and I'm going, no, they didn't. This dude plays Z, he plays flyer, he plays slot, he can play boundary X. This kid can do everything. Like, he can line up in the backfield. The 2021 tape blew me away. I challenge everybody. Type in Jaden Reed 2021 highlights, and you'll go, oh, that's that guy right there. Jake Shavink in the chat, good to see you, buddy. He said, imagine Chicago hung in versus Detroit because of 3 D tackles missing and 2020 golf showing up. I'm eager to see, go back and watch a little bit of that game for sure. Goose said he pulled a butt cheek sleeping on this awful chair futon at the hospital with the baby on the way. Chris M, appreciate the kind words, buddy. Says, great job today, fellas. We appreciate you hanging out with us for sure. United Bates says, we had 2 longtime vets at quarterback and kicker. People immediately expect the same results. It's just not realistic. But whatever they are smoking, send some my way. JK, you ain't JK, and you ain't JK and Bates. You were there on the devil's lettuce, ain't you, sir? It's a very good point. You got to kind of put things into perspective. I think the frustrating part is you could have had Crosby back for, really, really cheap. He still hasn't signed with the team, but they're looking for the next Crosby. What if we had wanted the Packers to hang on to the last kicker before they drafted Crosby? We would have missed out on Crosby, right? So it's kind of, hindsight's 2020. Obviously,
was it Longwell?
Well, I think it was Longwell, and then we had a bridge guy, I believe. I could be wrong. I think there was a bridge guy in there, but there's been many sleeps in between since now and then. Number one Packer fan, this is the comment I wanted to get to. He said, man, the Bears watch party meltdown was epic. Dudes throwing keyboards, cursing and screaming, LOL. And, of course, they had to mention how much the Packers suck. We still live rent-free in their heads. I need to get a link to them throwing a fit because that right there, we need to show that on this podcast right here. That needs to happen. So you love to see a good meltdown from the Bears fans for sure. Let's see what else we've got here in the chat. I know we got something I did want to show you guys. Let me hide this real quick. I'm going to share the screen here. I believe we've got a clip of Rashawn Gary leaving the field just a few minutes ago. And let's see what we have here. Hanging out with the fans, of course. Gary going over doing the same thing. Look at all the fans still hanging out, y'all. That is awesome.
Look at that kid.
Yeah, made his day. To look, giving away everything. I love Rashawn Gary. I'm so glad they gave him the contract extension. Mike, the super fan's out there trying to bag a deer today. He's going to be upset when he finds out Gary had a date.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see the snap count, too. I want to see the snap count.
Yeah, because it felt like he was on the field the whole time, didn't it? And here we were going into this game, Tim. We were talking about, there was a chance that Gary, might not even go, right? Remember us talking about LVN having to fill in. So, you just never know, man.
And I thought LVN did play well when he did fill in. And they put him down in 3-point stance. Gotta love that, where he feels more comfortable. Get a drive off the ball sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Number one Packer fan says, "Got clips? What's your Twitter at Packers_access?" Definitely send them to me, man. I got to see that. If you can get them to us before we wrap this big bear up, we'll show them right here on the show just to have a little fun. But let's go ahead while he's trying to send that to me, and I'll double check before we get off of here. Let's do some parting thoughts, Tim. We're at the hour, 10-minute mark. Actually, fourth quarter, just run through it real quick, okay? Preston Smith had the strip sack. Gary recovered. Awesome job there. The two veterans, two of the highest paid players on the roster, right at the most important position on defense, both coming up big in the clutch situation. Love missed Musgrave down the sideline. We talked about that. Then Wicks had the drop. I wanted to get so mad at Love over that overthrow of Musgrave, and then the next play, Wicks drops a bomb. Go, it's everybody. Like, you know.
Hey, did you notice that on that overthrow that it was like just barely overthrown?
Barely
it's almost like the misses are getting better now. You were actually seeing the accuracy start to hone. He's not missing way over the top, and even the ones that were short today were not drastically underthrown. So there is improvement for sure.
Mm-hmm. Tim, are you saying this is a game of inches? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what she said too.
You got to give me more notice than that.
That's what she said.
All right, so as I wait, hopefully, to get those videos. So, like I said, Love missed Musgrave. Then you had the Wicks drop. Kenny missed the sack. The touchdown, Owens was late to his spot there in coverage for sure. Then, of course, they missed Watson deep on that throw. I think that was on the left side, if I remember correctly. Love missed Watson. But then you have Wicks with a 36-yard catch and run. Just absolutely took over in that situation. 36 yards on that explosive play. And then, of course, the Dobbs touchdown, slightly underthrown, but still a great decision, being on the same page with Dobbs. That's what I'm talking about Love. Like, I'm not in here saying Love is perfect. Right. What I'm saying is, like, there's things to work on, but you're seeing the incremental steps in the right direction, and that's what we wanted to see this year. So obviously, touchdown to Dobbs. And then the defense came out. What they do, guys? 3 and out. And Gary and Preston had a sack there. Just absolutely stepped up huge there toward the end of the game. Fourth quarter continued. Nixon with the pass interference call. That's a rough play. Nixon's going to have a really bad grade on PFF. There's no doubt about it. And again, in that moment, I'm going, Valentine gets burnt deep, right? Luckily, we had the drop. You had Nixon with the pass interference call where he was going to get beat there as well. And all I can hear is some fans saying, as soon as we traded Rasul, all of a sudden Rasul was bad. He wasn't that good anyway. I went and looked it up. 14th highest graded corner in the entire NFL. You think he would have helped today just a little bit, right? So I don't mean to harp on it, but it's going to be hard for me to not go back and look at that from time to time. Of course, Gary gets called for offsides, but then when the game on the line, think player not play, Kenny Clark with the batted pass at the end. Yep. Absolutely awesome to see him come through in the clutch. So, Tim, parting thoughts, man.
Short week, guys. QB1 talked about it at the podium. Short week. Tomorrow is prep time, film time. Get your body right. We are banged the heck up going into Detroit on both sides of the ball. So guys got to take their physical therapy and, working with the staff. They got to get right, man. Whatever treatments they got to get, you got to take this stuff seriously. I always talk about Rashawn. Rashawn is one of those dudes who takes that stuff seriously. I wish everyone had that same approach, but a lot of young guys like to go run around and have fun and, maybe not take care of their body as much. But on a short week, that's important. So it's going to be all hands on deck. Looking forward to Turkey Day in Detroit. It's been a while since we played on Thanksgiving here as the Packers. The Packers haven't been on Turkey Day in a while. That might be a good thing to look up. When's the last time we played on Thanksgiving?
Man, it's been several years ago.
It's been a while. So, in a divisional game.
Stafford was the quarterback in Detroit the last time we played, I believe.
Oh, for sure. It had to be, yeah. And so, hey, and a divisional game on top of it, right? So this is not just, holiday football, yada, yada. This is it's a divisional game that we need. I believe that fact that Detroit won today kind of helps us, right? Because that didn't give the Bears another leg up. So if we can get a divisional win on the road, it could make things a little interesting as we round out the year.
I love that you're still holding out hope. I love it, man. I love that you're still holding out hope.
That little sliver, that little sliver of hope. And hey, if anything, maybe we can do exactly what Detroit did to us last year and just ruin their season, so
absolutely,
we'll take whatever we can get, but it starts with another win. Fingers crossed, guys. I'm going to keep good vibes. Let's get our second win in a row for the first time since I don't know how long. We can look that stat up too. When's the last time we won 2 games in a row? So go Pack, go. We'll take it. Turkey Day victory. I'm hyped, man. I'm pumped for Thursday. I wish I could go to Detroit and make some noise and take over that stadium a little bit. So I hope we get the payback, guys.
It's
be
like
swinging that turducken leg up on Thanksgiving.
Like Coach Lou Brown said in Major League, he said, "We won today. If we win tomorrow, that's 2 in a row. If we win after that, that's a winning streak. It has happened before." But I know this. What Tim's basically saying is, got a little bit of hope for the playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
I said keep it interesting. I don't know about all this.
I pushed you right out in the ring there, Tim. He said it. He said it.
Hey, but that's okay, man. You know what? I will gladly be an optimist to a fault when it comes to my team.
Absolutely.
That's okay. All day, every day. Green and gold till I'm dead and cold, baby.
I'll drink daddy sodas with the man who's optimist. I just don't want to be sitting next to the guy who's miserable the whole time. You guys take that down. Take that to a couple stools down. You know what I'm saying? Godsmack AR69 with the super chat said this offense would be good if we had a decent O-line. Think of how much better Love's numbers would be, except for Zach Tom. He's awesome. Actually, Godsmack, Love has been pressured less than every other quarterback in the league other than Tua Tagovailoa. Now, when you're talking about the running game, completely agree, man. And it goes both ways for sure. You got a better running game. It's easier to pass. It's easier to set up the play action. Didn't see a whole lot of boot action today, mainly because the running game has been hot garbage. The reason it's been hot garbage is the offensive line. But from a pass blocking set, they've been pretty good. And if you'll notice, when he gets hit, most of the time he's just holding the ball a little too long. But again, I think I can meet you in the middle there for sure. They haven't been a great offensive line, especially from the run blocking standpoint. But pass blocking, they're kind of holding their own. What do you got, Emilio? Parting thoughts, buddy?
I'm excited. Like Tim was saying, man, we're seeing the progression. We're seeing this team grow. All the rookies are stepping up. They're starting to get their feet wet, feel what it's like. We're halfway through the season. The team is coming together. We thought that maybe it would happen a little bit sooner, but if it happens now moving forward, hey, what are we going to complain about? This is what we wait all year for. This is exciting. It's it's football time. It's colder weather. It's the holidays. It's a good time to be a Packers fan. Why can't we be excited about it? Let's go on Thursday, bring home a turkey leg, and take the win, man. Because I'm excited.
Definitely. Paul Robertson said 11:30 Central. The game starts, fellas. Just an FYI in case you go out for daddy sodas the night before. No daddy sodas with an early kickoff like that, baby. We're going to be on that diesel. Going to get a lot of diesel. Now, I don't know if we'll do a post-game show. I would like to. I might be able to pull off a pre-game show a little bit earlier that morning. If I can get back, I'm going to be traveling about an hour away to some family Thanksgiving dinner. I might be able to break off a little early and get back for the post-game. Hoping that'll happen, but
he's gonna have Mandy drive him home, and he'll be sitting shotgun. Just all right, fellas, how we feeling here?
Yeah, definitely. Godsmack AR69 said Love was sacked 3 times. It's not all on Love. It's not all on Love. He was definitely sacked 3 times, but go look at the time in which he holds the ball. That's the key statistic there. Quarterbacks can have 7, 8. They can be sacked 7 or 8 times in a game, but if you're holding the ball for more than 3 seconds, the league average is like, I can't remember what it is, like 2.8 seconds or something. If you hold the ball beyond that point, you're begging for a sack, and that's definitely on the quarterback. If it's covered up, throw it away. You definitely don't want to take a sack, especially when it pushes you out of field goal range. But I understand what you're saying, though, man. You'd like to see 0 sacks, and with 0 sacks and perfect protection, I guarantee you Love's numbers would be better, right? Unfortunately, it's just not the world we live in, man. But I know this. He breaks some sacks too, right? And that goes in his favor. You got to give him credit for that. There were several times he's shaken off sacks this year, and I go, all right. I think that was in my notes. It wasn't in the quarterly notes, but on my notebook, I definitely had one play where he shook off a sack, and I think he completed the pass. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see how they play from here on out. And like I said, another test, another puzzle piece put in place come this Thursday, and no better time to see it than on Thanksgiving like that. So. Let's see here. It looks like we did get some clips sent. It's probably the whole show. Maybe it's 5 seconds. Emilio, Tim, say something smart real quick. Any other thing you got? Because we might have us a clip here.
Guys, if you're liking what you're seeing, man, make sure you let us know. Let the algorithm know. Hit the like button for sure. Helps us helps us do what we need to do to stay here and keep doing these, right? So, you know, I know Clayton doesn't like to talk about it too much, you know, and we don't like to self-promote, but it does help, guys. So if you like the content, make sure you smash the like button for sure.
Yeah.
All right. I've got to listen to these real quick. Hopefully you can't hear this because I think there's some language. We got a 9-second and a 5-second. Hold on a minute.
Yeah. But no, like Clayton was saying, man, this team, this is exciting, dude. We got a win at Lambeau. It was 40 degrees. It was sunny. We had a little bit of help from Mother Nature. We had some problems with the offense. We had some problems with the defense. How can we not just be ready for this team to just explode? You know, if that's what's going to happen, let it happen. You know, if they're going to fall flat on their face, let them fall flat on their face. But we have no idea what's going to happen until they're out there doing it. And we saw some of that today. So let's just keep building, keep climbing that ladder, man, one ring at a time.
I want to share it so bad, but there is some language. I will say the first part of that clip, the guy said, "I'm just so sick of this. Fire everybody."
Has he been talking to Omer?
I think that's Omer is actually a Bears fan too, which we haven't seen Omer in here tonight, have we?
Oh
man,
he's busy, you know, doing that other thing that he was talking about. Yeah, he's got to keep that going.
Godsmack AR69, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He said Myers and Runyon are mediocre. Love is for real. Hey, I got you, man. I know this. Runyon has taken a step back big time.
Yeah.
There's no denying that.
Let's put Ryan in.
Yeah. What did you say?
I said, let's put Ryan in. Let's give him a shot. Like I said, we can't fall into that rut, man. If we're happy with Runyon and we're stuck there, at some point we're fine with rotating Rashid and Josh. Why can't we do that with Runyon? You know,
it can't get much worse, right? Oh, this right here. I'm so glad we hadn't signed off yet. Thank you so much, Godsmack, for the super chat. I agree with Myers and Runyon. I'm hoping they could turn it around, but it's just not been good for sure. Togro, I'll try to get that link out here in a little bit. I want you guys to see this though, right here. This is going to be really cool. So this is them walking. Oh, is that Jonesy walking?
Ooh.
Did you see that? All right, let's see what we got here, boys. We got some sound too.
One at a time. One at a time. One at a time. Hey, big dogs, man. Yeah. Sit down, baby. Woo!
Baby. Proud of my guys. They're resilient. One down. Got to keep it rolling. Hey, you got that dog, man.
Hey, Jonesy look good, boys.
There you go. Hey,
good.
He's not at Bell and Health, right? He's not at the hospital.
He's walking pretty good right there.
Yep. That's the big thing. Good, real good to see that. And Dre Campbell too. Devondre walking too.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see.
Did y'all see that hat that Love had on too, boy? That looked clean, didn't it? The old throwback. By the way, first time I went to Lambeau, right? Growing up in the South, they didn't know what they were getting into when I stopped. They had one of these stands out in the Lambeau parking lot, right? Very first time. This is back in 2003 against the Bears. Walk up, it's sign up for a credit card, you get a free gift. You know, one of those deals. Yeah. So all right, let's sign it up. Here we go. They said, all right, do you want a beanie or do you want a shirt? And I went, what's a beanie? And they held it up. I went, that's a toboggan. And they went, a toboggan's a sled. And I went, give me the shirt. This conversation is going, no, I'd never heard it called a beanie before in my whole life. But yeah, good times there. They heard my accent and was like, this poor, dumb bastard right here. Larry, good to see you in here, buddy. Said love to see Aaron Jones walking. Completely agree, man. And it's that I lit up watching that video. I'm glad we've seen that. That's a good way to end it right there. So we're gonna get out of here, guys. Really appreciate everybody hanging out with us. This has been a great show. These are the kind of post-game shows we look forward to, man, because everybody in a better mood, come out with a dub right there at Lambeau. All the people that supported the team. It was loud in Lambeau today, Tim. It was loud. You could hear it on TV. So
and a gold package game too. So
yes.
Stop talking bad about my Milwaukee family, man.
Maybe the word got around, right? People straightened up a little bit.
Showed up and showed out today.
Definitely. Want to give a special thanks to all the super chats. Josh Martin, Goose, congratulations on the baby, Goose.
Congrats.
Love you guys, man. So happy for you. Togrel, thank you for the super chat. Nick McSwain, Todd Lips, Godsmack AR69, United Bates, Josh Martin again, Togrel again, Boz with the huge donation. Thank you so much, Boz. I'm glad we got to see the cheese sombrero too, man. Josh Martin again, Godsmack, Togrel. You guys are awesome, man. We definitely don't deserve listeners like you, viewers like you. We just appreciate y'all supporting us for sure. Packers get a huge dub, 23-20 against the LA Chargers. We'll be back tomorrow morning with Good Morning Lambeau. Boy, that coffee's going to drink a lot better in the morning. Boy. A lot better. I bet Emilio risks taking off some clients out there on the JOB too. He might pop in the cab of the truck and they're hiding out. Maybe we'll see.
One of them days.
Hey, you know how it is. Might get a little stomach ache. But thank you everyone for hanging out with us again. Thanks to the chat. You guys are awesome. For those of you listening on the pod, thank you for making us a part of your evening. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack Go.
The power sweep. Actually, it's the lead play in our offense.
Come a tackle, take the defensive end if he's over him. If he's not, you drive down the first man to his inside. Fullback, you tell him to take the first man outside the offensive tackle. No one shows. Go right by him and field inside. If the YN has the linebacker taken out, he cuts inside. If the YN has the linebacker in, he comes all the way around. So look at this play. What we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.